Just shut up.
All right. Double checking. Hijack is recording. Okay.
Oh, do you want me to monitor chat?
Yeah.
Let me do that. Let me worry about chat.
Well, so we can see chat in the StreamYard, but we can't see.
But let him. That's his.
Yeah,
he
the
wants to have a
alerts.
play. He wants to.
No. But what I'm saying is, don't you guys worry about that. I'll bring up the things that we get to worry.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. How can I make him a mod with a mod command?
I don't know.
Should be able to, I think. And I'm just thinking, like, so you guys don't get distracted. You can do what you want to do. Then I can monitor that. And
I dig it. And then,
yeah, I think.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not logged in as Wise and Nerdy, so I'm not sure
that'll slow you right up.
Yeah. I am. Do I have to / mod?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's /mod VO by Kurt.
You might, if it doesn't let you do it just from chat, you might need to go to the creator dashboard.
I'm doing it from StreamYard to see if it works. It's just a spinning. All right, okay. Joe, you want to hit? Hey, I have my coin. I mean, even though you took away my ability to use the coin, Joe, I still have it.
I hate that coin.
You mean? Oh, look, it comes up Woodard.
Oh, man.
I'm ready to go when you are.
Everything's coming up Woodard.
Hit the music, Joe.
Hold on. I'm trying to get
to Look, he is doing a hey, Kurt, he's working on his cosplay for next year, but it's one of those gender benders. He is Velma cosplaying as Peter Griffin. Or Peter Griffin cosplaying as Velma.
Hashtag dad life.
I found my cosplay for next year, and I'm going straight up. Dude from Jurassic Park.
I know.
Yeah, I saw that. It'll be good. It'll be real good.
Great. It's gonna be great.
Not for nothing, but we're gonna do a show tonight, gentlemen. Or what?
Yes, we are. We are. We really, really are.
You started it.
Do we clap to sync our tracks?
I pushed the button, but I forgot that my sampler was muted. And if I just push the button again, what does it do? I don't even know what it does. I don't know what I have it set to do. There we go. You ready? Are you ready? Charles McFall.
Get ready to laugh out loud with Wise and Nerdy, the show hosted by two hilarious dads who bring their unique blend of wit, wisdom, and nerdiness to the airwaves. Yes! From sharing hilarious anecdotes about their own experiences to giving advice on navigating the ups and downs of life, these two dads have got you covered. That's not all. They're also obsessed with all things nerdy, from comic books and sci-fi movies to video and board games. So whether you're a fellow dad, a pop culture fanatic, or just in need of a good laugh, this is Wise and Nerdy. And now let's have some fun.
Yes.
God, he talks too much.
Oh my goodness! Welcome to Wise and Nerdy Experience, where we are so happy you're here to participate with us. There's a couple of ways to do that. First off, though, I'm the Rock God of Podcasting, Charles McFall. There is the one and only Embrace_Joseph_Ard.
Howdy.
The figment of our imagination, since Woodard is so in demand and cannot actually be here live, we have the real Uncle Grandpa, VO by Kurt.
I hate you so much.
Just because these recorders are going to be used in deposition later when you get taken to court by Mike. It's okay.
That's all right. I ate him for breakfast.
I'm not even sure. Let's go into the next segment before you can participate in the question of the week, right? Because we have that. And actually, Joe, while we do this question, I am going to go to the Spotify podcasters from Spotify and get our answers from the last couple of weeks where we put out questions. So that's one way you can participate with us and play and have fun is answer those questions of the week. And on the podcast, even after the fact, the question of the week is every time the question of the show. And so you can go and answer it. We will read it at some point in the future. And otherwise, come out live on twitch.tv/wise_n_nerdy and be here 8:30 p.m. Eastern now is what we're doing on Twitch. And you can even feed Kurt jokes because Lord knows he needs some help. And
wow.
And something that's near and dear to our hearts is speak pipes. You can call Dad, wiseandnerdy.com/call Dad. You'll hear all this again throughout the show. I just wanted to talk about how on the Patreon episodes we record up to 30 minutes or sometimes more before the show. Kurt's going to start bringing some unique stories to that and after the show. Either way, whatever floats. Yeah, Kurt. No, it's not Patreon time, Kurt. Sit back in your chair.
It's the question of the
week. Oh my God, that was so good.
The question of the week is, if you could summon any hero to fight for you, who would it be?
Me.
Meh. I heard meh from Kurt.
Of course you did.
Any I don't know, Joe, who would you? That's an interesting question.
So if I assume I'm in trouble if I'm needing to summon them to fight for me. So it's got to be some anime powerhouse because those are on ridiculous levels rather than DC or Marvel. So I'm thinking maybe Goku would be one that a lot of people would know. But if I'm going outside of popular, I'll go with Satou from Death March to a Parallel World Rhapsody. He is ridiculously OP. And he would just wreck anybody that came after me.
Kurt.
How do you not go with One Punch Man?
Well, I've never actually watched One Punch Man, so
it's
there's
One
that.
Punch.
I know the premise. It's one punch, except when it's not.
Because he holds back because he's a human. He's not an animal.
He has to land that punch, right? I mean, that's the thing.
Godzilla.
No, you can't. No. I can't remember the character's name or the name of the movie. It's Ryan Reynolds, where he was the non-player character. His name was
Deadpool.
Guy. No. But
he's just Guy, isn't it?
Yeah, his name is Guy. But what was the movie?
Oh shoot!
Right. As soon as we think of it, that was it.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna. It's bugging me now because I want to say I just watched it not
I did too.
that long ago.
Free
Guy, right?
Free Guy.
Yeah, Free Guy.
Yeah, I summoned him because not only is he funny, he you can't defeat him because he's a computer game. He's just going to regenerate, right? And then he pulled all the stops out from some of my favorite heroes. So that's who I would summon is Free Guy from or Guy from Free Guy, or just just Ryan Reynolds. Just
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, just Ryan Reynolds. That's
not Deadpool Ryan Reynolds, not Free Guy Ryan Reynolds, definitely not Green Lantern Ryan Reynolds, but just Ryan Reynolds.
That wasn't his fault.
Yeah, right. Green Lantern is perfectly fine. The writing just wasn't.
Agreed. I mean, it went weird. And he mocks the CGI suit, but I thought the CGI suit actually did pretty well. I mean, how's it any different? No, I'm thinking of something else.
Then the Flash with all the CGI
Cage
animation on
Superman costume.
I've mentioned this person on Pokemon Go podcast, but I don't think I've ever mentioned him on Wise and Nerdy. There's this autistic kid at my church, and he always comes up to me and wants to talk about movies, right?
I got sorry for you.
And so he came up to me, it was either this past week or the week before, and we started talking about The Flash, because I had just seen it, and he asked if I had seen it, and he was like, what's with Nicolas Cage Superman? And he had no idea that it had ever even been a thing. And I was like, yeah, no, they were starting to make that movie, and then they just never put it out. He's
that was one of the best Easter eggs in the Flash movie. The fact that they did that.
He said basically his opinion was that Nicolas Cage just looked super goofy because of the hair.
Oh,
so
he did. Like that was the kind of the point. Like that was a dumb idea. but the fact that they included him in the Flash movie
Yeah.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
And when you saw him fighting the giant spider, that
Yes.
was from the original script.
Yes, I
Like
know.
it was supposed to be one of the big fights in the movie. It
I
was
love
the dumbest thing ever, and the problem that for me that I really have a hard time putting my head around. Kevin Smith was involved.
No, he wrote the whole thing.
No, I don't admit that. So but well, and honestly, you hear Kevin Smith talk about it, and he was like, "Yeah, they wanted this stuff, and I'm not sure why, but I just went with it."
But I did
So-
like the fan stuff. Knowing the story, I loved seeing the moment where the Earths were coming together, and they did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Just know, just like, hey, I am in the smaller circle that knows what that is.
Yes.
real quick before we tangent off of this, I get back on off this tangent. So Kevin Smith was given specific things that he had to write into the script.
Yes.
Got it.
That's my understanding.
That's
Yeah,
kind of like
properly. So
that's kind of what the Star Wars books that are no longer canon. That's what they did is they hired a bunch of different authors along the way and said, "Hey, we need you to include these major story points." And so one of my favorite authors, R.A. Salvatore, wrote a couple of the books, and he was told, "Hey, you got to kill off Chewbacca." And so he was like, "Great, what am I going to do with that?" And so I mean, they're not canon anymore, but Chewbacca ends up throwing one of Han Solo's kids onto the Millennium Falcon as a moon is crashing into the planet and isn't able to get on himself. And the last you see of him is him with his hands up roaring at the moon as it's crashing on top of him. I'm like, I mean, if you gotta kill Chewbacca, that's a pretty good way to kill Chewbacca.
That is a good way. That really is a good way. Yeah.
Kurt,
Yes.
look, Uncle Grandpa, he never talked about that until after the second time he got COVID. So I'm pretty sure it's just a fever dream.
I see. Well, except that I heard it right after Kevin Smith told his Prince documentary story.
About Chewbacca?
No, about
That's
Prince.
what I'm talking about. Oh my god!
Who cares about Chewbacca? Chewbacca is
he's dead. Screw that dude.
No, he's not dead, but he's very sad because of Force Awakens.
Yeah,
he's very sad.
Well,
sad Baka.
You know, as much as Ryan Reynolds would participate in this show, and that'd be amazing. We have some people participating. We got Civilian on Base is here for once, so that's his words, not mine. And then we got Gramrod. Gramrod is here.
Gramrod. Haven't seen Gramrod in a long time.
Yeah. So we got some people's playing. So the question was, Joe, so they can answer it in chat.
The question was, if you could summon any hero to fight for you, who would it be?
So we definitely want to hear.
And while they're thinking about that and typing it in, what would it be called if you put Gramrod on speed dial?
This is not bad dad joke time. I'm taking my headphones out. You do not get to do this. It is not that segment.
Instagram.
We're good. We're good. I mean, Kurt is trying
nothing.
not to
Kurt's just like no reaction.
Where's that disconnect button?
Right. Right. Oh my god. Ah! He disconnected himself. Hey, let's roll some dice, shall we?
Gramrod liked it. Gramrod liked it.
I'm supposed to get us our previous
Roll
questions.
that dice.
No, not yet. Not yet.
That's not me.
Roll that dice.
That's me.
Oh,
Roll that dice.
I'm gonna roll your freaking face.
Well, I don't know what you're doing.
I am getting us some of the previous answers. But you got me all distracted with your One Punch Man crap. You know.
Well, Civilian O Base says Saitama from One Punch Man. He can't be beat.
There you go. That's exactly what Kurt said. You know what I have to say to that?
Have a nerdy day.
Okay. Am I not? Thing's not logging in right. All right, Joe, go ahead. Just roll the dice. It literally is going seriously nuts.
Dice.
Dad joke.
Come on.
I really did roll a 6, though.
I know. Oh, my God.
Oh, Charles. The Energizer Bunny was arrested.
Oh, no.
He was charged with battery.
Charles, you and I have been talking about doing a new show together.
Right, Kurt? Right? Let's just say there's a place that we'll be going that, might have some letters in its name that maybe Joe doesn't need to come. Maybe he didn't need to come. Just saying.
You know what? Civilian on Base has the perfect response to that dad joke. Slow clap.
No clap. No clap.
But the Energizer Bunny, he can't be beat. Just
all
like...
Right. So, all right, to cleanse your palate, to cleanse all of our palates, I have one question of the week that has been answered. It was a little while back. Family dreams, nerd chats, and dicey jokes. A wise and nerdy podcast adventure. And the question was, what would you do if you won the lottery? And Sophia Swifty Chavez 2 months ago, unfortunately, said, buy Taylor Swift concert tickets, plane tickets so I can get to the concerts, and Taylor Swift merch. And that would blow the entirety of your lottery winnings.
There was a Taylor Swift cosplay photo shoot at Dragon Con.
I believe.
Surprised, exactly.
Yeah, no surprise.
Yeah.
All right, now that our palates have been cleansed,
Roll that dice.
Oh, not again.
oh, that was another bad dad joke, but we will.
I have one.
You did
No.
it.
Did you hear it, Charles?
I
Did you hear it?
I did. And that was the perfect voice because the Can You Dig It? We're finally, after 3 weeks of me bumping it, we're talking about can you dig your kids having friends? And no. My answer is no. I do not. I mean, I want my kids to have friends. I do. I want them to participate and have that camaraderie and that friendship. But oh my God, the people that they pick for the 99% of the people that my kids, want to hang out with. No, good.
Mike wants to weigh in on that comment.
Oh no, he
Wait.
didn't.
Am I the butt face?
But okay, Joe, you've got 3 boys of varying ages. Obviously, your youngest probably doesn't really have friends. I can't remember how young they are, but they're 3 to 4, right? I mean,
He's 4.
Yeah, so that understanding. You have a 9 or 10-year-old.
Yeah, my oldest will be 11 next month.
Okay, so him and my daughter, my youngest daughter, are about the same age. So okay, definitely old enough to have gone to schools and made some buddies and budettes or whatever you go. So can you dig, like when they invite that kid over and then your house goes, we don't do that at my house,
It depends on the kid, because there are definitely some of their friends that I'm like, oh, you again. And then there's other ones that I'm like, hey, yeah, that sounds fun.
Do you try being the cool dad?
I don't have to try, baby. I'm the cool dad all day long.
I was talking to Joe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Joe, you have to try to be me. Is that what you got to do?
No, I am the cool. I am the epitome of the cool dad. I don't have to try. No, but I mean, my kids are always like, Dad, pull out the lightsaber, or Dad, show our friends this, or Dad, it's like, okay. So basically, I might not be cool myself, but I've got cool stuff.
Yeah,
Sure. I guess what I was wondering is, and for both of you, do you worry about impressing their friends?
Oh God, no.
No.
Yeah, I want to
really.
scare them off so they don't come back.
Yeah, see, that's weird. I took a different tact. I actually tried to be the dad who was there, and so the kids would want to come over more.
My wife.
Not necessarily because of me, but because I allowed them to do fun things while they were there.
Oh no, they can get away with murder at my house because
murder is not always fun.
You just haven't done it right, Kurt. Let me hang out with me long enough.
I said not always.
Oh, you murdered your old self.
man.
By the way, everybody, Kurt's half the man he used to be. I mean, in seriousness, he is. You've lost almost 50% of your weight, man.
Getting there. I'm getting there.
You're getting there. It's crazy. We're going to talk about that after the show for Patreon. I want to ask you about that. So your original tag was 75 hard survivor. So we'll bring that up for sure.
Oh, you changed my tag. I didn't even know.
I did. You're the real Uncle Grandpa. It's official. It's canon. Unless it's Star Wars, it's going to get retconned. But, I have the cool stuff like Joe. They come over, there's VR headsets, right? Yeah. There's each of the kids has their own little cabin that has a TV in it and some kind of something to do. We're always doing something and having fun and going to festivals and whatnot that their friends come along. But for the most part, I don't want their friends to like me because I don't want to have that moment where the kid just won't go away. And I know you're supposed to be out playing with my son, but you're doing this thing on the Xbox. No, I just want. And then to tell myself a little bit. Then there's certain things you can't really do when someone else's kid is in your house. Let me tell you. Here's one. Besides, Kurt gonna be talking about walking around naked. I stopped him. Don't worry about it. But botched or not botched, botched. But we had the second or third year we did the barbecue at my house after Dragon Con. I come home, and of course we're all exhausted, tired. There's beer everywhere. There's other things that are everywhere, and we're just talking.
Yeah,
we
like
just
Charles's.
We just all came off of Dragon Con, and so we're talking. Right, like we went. We're not in front of an audience, so it's effing awesome, and this and that and the other, and so on. And then these two strangers come up who I'd never seen before, and they're just walking on my driveway, and I follow them. Can I help you? And like, we're so and so's parents. I'm like, my daughter, who was 12 to 14 at the time, she's 16 now, so probably between 10 and 13, somewhere in there. Too young to have her friend over at this party. And her friend was there, so their parents come up during us doing our thing in the yard and everything. I mean, still early on in the party, we weren't all super bad or anything. I think that was the same night where certain questions were asked by females of our group. They wanted to know things. I'll tell you in Patreon. But yeah, I'm like, child, like, where are you going? I've never seen you before. Why are you walking in my yard? And then I found out my wife had said it was okay for like I as subtly as you can after a Dragon Con where you think you're talking like this, but you're really up here. I chewed my wife up a little bit. It's like, what is wrong with you? You do not let somebody else's child come to my house when we're going to have this party. This is like my safe space where I can say the most horrible things to my people because they're more horrible than me.
So let's just get this straight. Charles just admitted that a little kid makes his space unsafe.
Yep.
Yes. because my wife, and I want to ask you this, Kurt, because you raised kids in a slightly different time, and Joe, you're in the Mormons, so whatever Cthulhu, I don't know. But my wife, she will get just arbitrarily mad about that stuff. Like, this is my house. You Samosa's kid, you can't cuss. The bleep you say. They need to know this is my house. I don't care. So anyway, I want to ask both of you. How do you change your behavior, or do you feel your spouse, whatever? Was there a reason for you to change your behavior in front of somebody else's kid? Because obviously that's one of my big gripes.
For me, it is, and I do, but here's the thing: I always read the room, no matter what situation I'm in. So having kids over is just another situation. Are there times where I wish that I could just be myself in my own house? Yes. But if we have people over, that changes. It just changes. Because that's just what's required. It's like going to work. You're not exactly 100% yourself at the office.
Okay, but you can imagine since it's my office and I run it.
Yeah, you're in a hotel. You're not in an office.
No. But that's not. But Charles, you're being disingenuous on that because even at the EMS, when you're in your own office, when you're running the place, you still have to deal with things like I don't know, like HR issues. Yeah. If you're 100% just loose.
Fun moment.
Charles is a walking HR issue.
The second anybody even tiptoes near anything that could be bad, I immediately just put my hands on my ears, start yelling HR, 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 and it actually lands every time.
And you don't do that at home.
Yeah. Well, that'd be weird because my wife's like, "Who's her?"
Aaron.
The power of HR compels you.
So, I mean, there's a read the audience, but I don't know.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I know what you're saying, but I actually do alter based on who's there.
All right, Joe. What about you?
Yes.
What? Oh my God, this is how a show works. You follow along with the topic.
I already said stuff.
You
just forgot.
No.
Yeah.
No. We're talking about changing your behavior because you think
we already had that. They already had that conversation.
Oh my God!
In fact, you had it as like a can you dig in a couple episodes. But Charles is hyperventilating. He can't take it. There's stabbing in the eye going on. Great podcast.
Great God. That's the title. That's the title of the show. Hyperventilating in the bag, stabbing in the eye. Great podcast.
Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
Since we got a good voting system now, it's 2 thumbs up, dig the kids' friends, and 1 thumbs down. Is that because I'm the thumbs down? Is that how we landed?
I said depends on the kid.
All right. Okay. So it's a 3-way tie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. All right.
Roll that dice.
So do this first. I put my hand up and do the puppet with you.
Daddy, can't tell me a story.
Oh no! I heard Woodard. So Daddy Joey _Artie, can you tell me a story of your new job and team and how that's been going over the last couple of weeks?
It is not at all what I was expecting, to be completely honest. And we still actually I don't have all the access that I need to even do what I'm supposed to be doing. But basically, I'm not a programmer anymore. Not really. I am basically a server administrator now.
Okay.
So even though they were specifically looking for people with programming experience in the job description, that's not what I'm going to be doing. So we'll see how it goes. They work really weird hours, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, before it got canceled, there was a chance that I was going to miss tonight because they were doing server upgrade. Our team is doing server upgrades tonight at 8, and apparently they do a lot of work on Friday nights as well. So we'll see. I'm still trying to get a feel for it. So
civilian on base says server admin is nice.
Yeah,
it can be.
It's. I'm finally getting my Outlook rules set up to where my Outlook is usable again, because we get like 500 automated emails about the health of our various servers, and so that per day we get like 500 automated emails, and so I think I finally have all of those into a readable format in my Outlook, so that I'm not missing emails from actual people that are submitting requests and stuff. A lot of the job seems to be reactionary. We get requests, we fulfill requests, and we update servers, as far as I can tell. So
sounds kind of cushy.
So
yeah.
Paul Vert, can you give some advice to Joe about some server admin things that he might have to look out for?
Yeah, so really actually change your Outlook rules so that the critical alerts go to a separate folder so that you get those and can monitor just that folder. Particularly after hours. Particularly after hours. And only because that's my life. So I also at some point had, whenever a server goes down, it texts me.
Yeah, one of the first things that my new team lead did was request a work phone for me. Yes. So now I have a work phone.
What is it? What is it?
And it's an iPhone 13.
Okay, that's all right.
So,
what's the phone number?
Yes, Kurt.
I don't even have it memorized.
We just want to back you up.
Yeah, buddy, we're just here to help.
But yeah, so my personal phone is still an iPhone 10. So pretty old. But that phone, my work phone, because I only use it for Outlook and for Teams, basically. I think I've received one automated call from our work system and one automated text from our work system. So other than that, it's Teams and Outlook. I charged it last Wednesday, and I didn't have to charge it again until this morning. Yeah. So
yeah, but seriously, if you can get critical alerts to come through on that, if you're getting so few messages anyway, that will be very helpful. Because then you'll know when it's important.
Well, so we have monitoring set up to generate critical alerts and call whoever is on call. So we do have that set up.
Even better.
Yeah, which actually my first assignment is to add on some more monitoring. So there we go. So actually that will involve a little bit of programming, but not much.
Scripting more than programming, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are spot on.
I work for an MSP. It's like kind of what we do.
It'll be a scripting thing that checks the endpoints of some of our web services, and so it'll log the health of them, and then we will set up. We have a separate monitoring team, and we'll be like, hey, look for this in this log file, and if you see basically the word error, generate a ticket and give our on-call person a call. So, which ironically, the monitoring I'm set up will help my old team. So my first assignment is to help my old team.
I love it though. You get to be the great white hope.
Wow.
Why you got to bring hope into this?
Well played, sir. Well played. I'm trying to think.
He was just talking about the Wasp.
Are you?
Why? Her name is Hope.
Whatever.
Moving on.
Oh my! Wow, I make a comic book reference, and Charles is just like, "Huh? What? Are you even a fan?"
Oh no!
Kurt and I went to the same place.
Yeah. So Joe, you didn't understand the context of the previous comments.
That's okay. Well,
it's okay. Moving on.
Kids, ask your dad.
We're so canceled. All right.
Roll that dice.
Oh, man.
Time for a commercial break.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Kurt, you ready? We're going to try to help Joe not blast out the music, but Joe, you think you got it? You got it?
Let me turn that down a little bit because it is definitely way too loud coming in.
All right, kiddos. This
you
is
ready?
how it goes. No. I will explain to our audience, our loved ones, our favorite children, how this is supposed to go. Music's supposed to come out soft. Kurt's going to hit the Patreon thing. This is going to come up. We're going to jam out for like 35 seconds and just chill and have fun. And this is going to come down, and Kurt's going to hit Call Your Dad. All right, let's see how this goes.
Okay.
Do you like supporting nerds? Do you like daddies who know what they're talking about? Then go to patreon.com/wise_and_nerdy because they couldn't get it all one word. Become a patron today and vibe out with us to this really cool techno chill music. I love you.
Get louder. Kurt, he took the volume down again. Hit us.
Why you gotta be like that? Call your daddy, jerk.
Work out your daddy
Don't you think
issues.
they want you to call? Call your daddy. He's not heard from you in months.
Wiseandnerding.com/call dad.
Eggs. Just killing me. Just stop. We're turning this car around. We're turning this car around, and we're going home. I'm sorry. My favorite is the children. Your Peepaw, Kurt, and embrace the drunk uncle over here can't get it right. Oh my
First
goodness.
part right.
Yeah, no, the first part. 30. I'm gonna get you a clock, Joe. As part of being, don't hit no buttons. As a part of being a great member of this show, I'm gonna get you a clock, and it's gonna count up to 45, and that's it. Because your 30 seconds and God's 30 seconds are about 25 seconds apart from each other.
If you like rants like these, call your daddy and leave a voicemail at wiseandnerdy.com/call-dad.
Roll
Help
that
me,
dice.
Daddy.
Oh my goodness.
Roll that dice.
Oh man.
What are you nerding out about now?
All right. This gets to be me. I get to take off on this one. So I love tech, right? I love doing tech. I love it just and I love solving the problem of tech. Now I'm not like these two gentlemen who really get into the code and the servers and I like the consumer side of it, right? The tablets and the phones and making sure that works and how to get people to get what they need where they need it. And I run a company. And I used to run two companies, but we split it off, and I have a cohort running it, and we're side by side. Except I've done all the tech for both companies for over a year now. And we're actually, the reason I'm in a hotel, we're traveling to mid-Georgia because we've bought another ambulance service, and we're rolling them into our company. And so I am down here just getting phones set up and getting them distributed, getting 20 iPads. So I've learned Apple Business Essentials and how to use that. And I've had to be on the phone with Apple twice this week. But I actually took a picture of me in my hotel room 2 nights ago where I had my laptop playing like Below Deck or something, whatever I was watching. Then a new laptop being booted up and fixed or set up, an iPad getting booted up and fixed, and iPhone all. I'm like, this is my happy place. I'm constantly just playing with gadgets and moving things. So it hasn't been made official yet as far as like how much I'll get paid. But I'm going to be for the second company that I used to run that I don't run anymore. I will actually work for them directly as a CTO, so Chief Technical Officer. And man, I am just having so much fun with that. And that's why I asked, like, what fun did you get? What fun? Because I just rolled out 14s to all my people, Joe. I like my people better than your company likes you.
Okay.
But I will tell you, and I don't know how much you got.
I saw the invoice for my phone. My company only paid like $150 for it.
Oh no, my iPhone 14. Okay, to be fair, we have a special program for ambulance companies, first responders, those kind of things. So it's a thing that started after 9/11, and we use it because the signal is there for all of us. So it's like a low band, so it reaches further and clearer and all this other stuff. But there's a government stipend that goes with it. So the iPhone 14s that I bought were $29 a piece. So yeah, it was not like I went over the top and dunked on them or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, Kurt, I'm sorry about to tell. I think you might have a similar story with gaming. And Joe, I would like to see if it lands on you somewhere. But I used to always be envious of the tech, right? Oh, I wanted a new phone, or I'd love to have an iPad. I now carry iPad, iPhone 14, Samsung S23. It seemed like there's some other tech. Oh yeah, some hotspots to keep testing those out so I can troubleshoot them. The fastest thing to get you off of wanting tech all the time is to deal with tech all the time. Once you've rolled out your 40th iPad and going next. Yeah, I don't hardly touch my iPad unless I have to do work anymore. And I used to play, Strike Force on it, Kurt. So,
Yep.
Is there something? Because I know you used to do stuff with games and gaming companies. Did that kind of turn you off of playing for a little while?
It turned me off of phones for a long time. So when the last gaming job that I was in, we did mobile phone versions of. We did a lot of versions of Namco games. So Pac-Man, Galaga, just like all of the Namco like fundamental arcade games. And because when we did them, This was 2004, 2005, 2006, before the iPhone and the Androids came out.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was all Java based, and all the sizes were non-standard. So literally I had a wall next to my desk with 120 phones.
Oh, wow.
Because you had to test them on each individual phone because there were no emulators. And what they had for emulation to really write the code were terrible. It didn't matter. You still had to load them on the phone. The worst thing about all of that, power bricks, because everybody had a different standard back then.
Oh, yeah.
And so the rule of thumb was, if it fits, it works.
You remember the Nokia snake bite
Yes.
cable? Oh my god, that was the worst.
Yeah. So and we had all of that, like from the StarTACs to the Motorola Razors, and it was just, and we had to test on them. So having people testing using the little phones all day long, it was terrible. So when we each had to buy our own phones for just home use, just get me a phone. I don't even care. I'm just going to use it as a phone. I don't even need to text. Just give me a phone.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Yeah, when you're inundated with tech, you just don't want to deal with it as much.
Yeah.
Because you have to.
What about you, Joe?
What about me? What?
Do you have a similar? No. Do you have a similar story of something that you've done and you loved it, but then you did it so much, you're like, no, I'm kind of good.
Did you ever have to work with a piece of tech so much that you didn't actually want to use it outside of work?
Or like
when my kids want to keep playing the same game over and over and over and over and over again? I've never had that happen ever.
Fruit salad.
Oh,
yummy. Nobody. Okay.
No. Although I was playing Halo 1 with my 4-year-old tonight.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, real quick, the civilian on basis programming is that for me. It sounds like he was into hobby programming until he had to do it so much. And and now we're transitioning to you. So let's talk about, before you get to your next thing about what you're nerding out about, because you asked me, you talked to me maybe on the Patreon stuff about, I'm going to play Halo with my kid. I'm like, are you going to threaten to teabag him? I mean, what are we doing here?
No, we were playing the campaign. We're slowly working our way through the campaign on easy, me and my 4-year-old. So,
have you watched the original Red versus Blue?
Oh, see.
Some of it.
Yeah. Do you think
by Rooster Teeth?
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you think that's something you could, after you played this game a little bit with your son, you could watch that with him?
No.
The kid's 4. The kid's 4.
That's a big no.
I don't remember.
There's a lot of language in Red versus Blue.
I thought they bleeped it out.
Oh, I don't know, maybe, but I remember that. Yeah, no, it's not kid friendly.
This is one set of friends I'd allow my kids to have. Send your kids over to my house for the weekend.
Civilian on base says no, they don't. They do not bleep it out.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but
that's okay.
Even if they didn't,
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
He has 3 kids, Kurt.
Well, but he said he was playing with his 4-year-old.
It's true.
So what's funnier than a 4-year-old being like the dumb one on Red versus Blue?
A 3-year-old being like the dumb one?
Tonight, my 4-year-old hopped in the tank and just started shooting our allies left and right.
Oh, so like Charles during
any game. Whenever he plays the first-person shooter, he's just like, blam, blam.
I tried to get out the words
I got a headshot.
Oh, no.
What was the pirate ship one where you blew up your own ship?
Sea of bleep holes. That's what it was. That one time was an accident, Kurt. It was an accident.
Sure it was.
You keep saying that.
every time after that I played, I tried to find a barrel, and somebody would sniff it out and put me in the brig.
Every time after that, whenever anybody did that, we called it a McFall.
I know. But Joe, that's not what we're called to talk about. We are here to talk about what you're nerding out
Let
about.
Daddy
Besides
decide.
Okay.
No, that's not Daddy Decide. You're still going to talk about what you're watching on Max right now. For
So
Remedies sake.
last week I talked about how my wife and I watched the Flashpoint Paradox on HBO Max, or just Max nowadays, because we were disappointed with the Flash movie. And so I had forgotten that was the first one released of that particular animated series. So now we've started to go through and watch all of the Justice League ones, because at the end of each of them they have a stinger basically telling you which one you're supposed to watch next. And so now we've watched so we watched The Throne of Atlantis just the other night, but we watched another one. We watched 3 of them now. So we watched Flashpoint Paradox, and then we watched Justice League War, and then we watched The Throne of Atlantis. And so the next one on our list is Justice League versus Teen Titans. So
did you watch New Frontier?
That's what I was going to ask.
No.
Because New Frontier might be the finest movie that they've released.
Yeah, hands down. But that actually came on the back. New Frontier came on the back of the 3-season arc they did of the Justice League. That was one of the best Justice League animated series they ever did. And New Frontier was the capstone for that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and this one, New Frontier, apparently came out in 2008. So that is a predecessor to the series we're watching.
It's not quite the same. So the movies are a little bit different. But go back and find. I'm sure it's on Max there. Find the Justice League series. Which would probably be 2004 through 2007, somewhere in there.
I've been slowly watching that. Well, watching a bunch of the different ones with my kids. We've been watching that, Batman Beyond, and Static Shock.
It's all good. It's all good. Like there's nothing bad.
The animated stuff is really good for DC. Way better than the movies.
Yep.
And they have yet to do Clayface as so perfectly as they did in Batman Beyond. Not Beyond.
Animated series. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And honestly, so Static Shock was done during the same years as Justice League.
Yes.
Unlimited, I think. The second part. Because they did a crossover. Mm-hmm. And it was fan-freaking-tastic. I mean, it was so good. And Static Shock, look, it started out as a milestone comic, which was an offshoot. Dwayne McDuffie was part of that whole thing. And it was Static, and it was Hardware, and there were a bunch of just his Dwayne McDuffie. The whole point was he was going to do Black created heroes, and I'm getting dizzy.
Joe doesn't know what to say when. It's okay.
And Static was just part of this offshoot universe, and somehow made the jump, and it was so good. And the way that they did the crossover was fantastic. They showed him in the future even, and it was just, it's so good. And honestly, Justice League Unlimited, all of that, which really is all an offshoot of Batman the Animated Series, and Superman the Animated Series by extension. But that whole run, I go back and watch every now and then the whole thing just because it's so good. And they weren't afraid to do multiple episode story arcs. Yeah. It was just really well done. And yes, New Frontier.
And the humor was spot on too.
It was adult and youth. Yes, it was great.
Well, because that's something that DC I feel is really, really missing in their feature films is they don't really have humor, and the humor that they do have is dumb and cringy.
Well, that's because it would imply that you need to be a little happy in the DC universe, and that's not possible.
Man,
we talked about this a little bit last week, so I don't want to keep going on that rant. But
here's
Don't be afraid of the light.
We're talking about participation, and here's something that y'all just inspired me for, because for once I felt like a true nerd. Like, no, I know I was thinking the frontier, and you brought it up. We can talk, and then we can talk details on that. What if we did we can come up with a long time frame, because we're all kind of busy, but we can do a little watch along for our patrons, right? Say, hey, Joe, what's the next Max movie we need to watch? And we can all say, okay, in the month of October, let's watch it, and by the last episode of October, let's talk about it. And so our patrons can actually participate with us in our Discord and do that.
Ooh, they do have New Frontier on Max. I'll have to watch it.
So
Yeah. Let's make New Frontier the October watch along.
Although, isn't there a Batman Long Halloween?
Okay, there's that there, but there's the one. It's not War, but there's the one Gods and Monsters.
Oh, Gods and Monsters is good too. Yeah,
And that because they go into a universe where Batman's a vampire.
Yeah. Actually, you could do Gotham by Gaslight as well, if we wanted to go down the Gothic end of things.
So we'll pick one at the end of this. We'll pick one and we'll put it. We'll be talking about it throughout the next month. But that sounds like fun. Grandma says Long Halloween is good. Yeah. And on the podcast, of course, you don't have to be patrons, but as a patron, you will be in our Discord. And in our Discord, you'll be able to give thoughts and interact with us as we do it. But on the podcast, of course, you can email us, you can call in and come to that specific night and participate in the live chat and talk about it.
Man, Long Halloween Part 1 is PG-13, but Part 2 is R. Why?
Watched all the parts are R, and you go every year. I don't want to hear it, sir. I just want to hear it from you. So, I'm glad you were geeking out about that. It's so much fun.
All right.
Dear _
That's the last one.
Do you want to do the speak pipes before we do this one?
Sure.
All right, so you've got the speak pipes. We got 3 of them. They don't come labeled, so we're just going to have to guess who is where.
That is true. And if you want to send us a speak pipe,
Call your daddy. Leave a voicemail. wiseandnerdy.com/
That's not even me. That's all him, Kurt.
hey, it's random. All right, here we go. Speak pipes.
Hello, yes, this is Mike Woodard. I think that you guys should stop using my voice and should only use VO by Kurt's voice.
Oh my
It's so
God.
much better than mine. And, I really don't have the time to keep recording things for you guys.
Did he call it to his
So,
show with the same
Thanks for
message?
listening.
I,
Have a
Just
good
say-
night.
I think
I
that
wonder-
is the same one based on the date that on
No. No, because I went. It was new compared to what I'd already downloaded, according to the site. Don't shake your head, Kurt. You don't know. Mike's
It's
had
the
a
same
stroke.
one.
I was there. Mike only recorded
has
it
had a
once.
stroke. Mike has had a stroke. He's smelling the toes. So that's Mike Foodered, the fake Mike Foodered. All right, what's the next one, Joe?
A hearty and heartfelt happy birthday to you there, Charles. Glad to have you
All
around
right,
yet
so it's
another
an
year.
update.
Many
So
after.
we must thank you
No.
for the heartfelt birthday wishes. 'Cause, I'm still looking for those Amazon packages. All right, well, then don't worry about the last one because when I went to it, it had
I'm playing
it
it
had Biz
again.
March's new. Don't
I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy a good read sometimes, and some of my favorites are the Books Never Written series, such as Running to the Outhouse by
no.
illustrated by Betty Dowd.
All right, I'm selecting
Another
all.
great ones.
I'm deleting them all.
Yeah,
Best
we heard
Orient
this last week.
Express
Yeah,
by
Charles.
Jack London.
Look, they're marked as new. They're literally marked as
And
not being
Grandma,
touched.
get off the stove. You're too old to ride the range.
No, it's oh my God. All right, so I'm clearing those out.
That's one good
No.
daddy.
No, it's not. So let daddy decide. This one comes from TikTok. Am I the astronaut for not changing plans for a vegetarian? And I watched this earlier tonight as I was just chilling, mentally getting ready for the show. I'm on TikTok and I follow a bunch of the Reddit stories on TikTok where a robot voice reads the Reddit post. And this one's like, am I the butt face for not changing plans? So here's the story. Kind of a family reunion type deal where there's 12 to 13 family members. You look confused, Kurt.
I am. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. So 12 to 13 family members who haven't seen each other in a while they're all adults. They're coming together to say, hey, let's kind of do this lunch, right? And 50% of the people coming, right? Only half the group said, oh, let's eat at this restaurant because it's easy to get to. We like it. We're coming in from out of town and we haven't eaten there. Why we'd like to eat there. And one of the family members is a vegetarian. Now, the person who wrote this post is like, I don't know if she's a vegetarian for ethical reasons or for health reasons or what, but we didn't feel like we should change our plans for one person who so I gotta read that. Joe puts in he's confused because he didn't realize vegetarians actually existed.
Fair enough. Yep.
So, but
I've heard rumors.
So most of the 12 out of 13 people don't care. Yeah, we can eat here, no problem. One person is a vegetarian, says there's nothing to eat there for her. And the guy who wrote the post, his wife said they should be changing the restaurant. No, we don't think 12 people should change for one person. Then there's an update. And the update is, well, those are her words. One, she's a vegetarian, not for ethical reasons. So please don't bring, I guess this is a post she made. So please don't bring up, ethical meat and this and that and the other. She's a vegetarian because she had put on weight and wanted to lose weight. And the only thing to eat at the restaurant, even though her words were there's nothing to eat there, the only thing to eat there was salads that came with meat, but you could ask for them without meat. And she said she didn't want to do that. And everybody else is just like, we're not moving for this family member. We're not going. So, Joe, Keepaw Vert, are we who's the astronaut here? Is it the guy who says we're not going to change our plans, or is it the vegetarian?
I mean, the vegetarian knew where they were going. They could look up the menu ahead of time and figure out what's what.
They did, and they said ahead of time. There wasn't anything there for them to eat other than like side salads with meat.
Well, tell her to pack some broccoli in a baggie and bring it.
All right, so that's no, you're all good, family. Kurt?
Yeah, so I think there's enough astrology to go around. So here's the deal. Look, the vegetarian wasn't trying very hard, no question about it. But the other family members, knowing that it might be an issue with this person, it might have behooved them. Look it up, Charles. It might have behooved them to call the restaurant and say, "Hey, we've got a big party coming in. One of our party is a vegetarian. What can you offer?" That could have happened. That could have happened.
Absolutely. I'm more on that side. So my wife and I, we're hosts, right, by nature. I'm a performance host and I like to entertain people. She's coming to my house and let me feed you host and wants to make sure everybody feels comfortable. We don't use the word accommodated. Joe looked up behoove. It's a duty or responsibility for someone to do something. Let's dump it on. So kiddos. The real kiddos, if you're 12 and under, I want to have a report next week from a parent saying, why is my kid saying behoove all the time? Because it's funny. But I was like, yeah, you are the astronaut here because it's only half of the people picked. Other half apparently just didn't care except for the one person. According to the story, that person did express, hey, why? Let's go somewhere else. Let's go over here. And when it came out at the end, like the updated information that she had put on weight, so it's a health thing. Like she's trying to lose weight. Was there more options? I don't know, but you have the guy's wife there, and for me and my wife, we will make sure it doesn't matter what we think about it. Let's make sure everybody feels included because if this is basically a family reunion from people who hadn't seen each other in a couple of years, then why are we going? Everybody is cool except you, Ethel. Screw you, Ethel. You should have worked harder, according to Joe over here. You pack your broccoli and your travel milk, Ethel. Come on. So I landed fully on, yeah, you are the A-hat over here.
I saw a satire skit the other day where a person, he had accommodated his vegetarian neighbors when they invited him over for dinner. And so when the vegetarian neighbors invited him over for dinner, he's like, where's the meat? They're like, what? Like, yeah, where's the meat? Just because I eat meat, I'm a carnivore. I accommodated you when you came over. I cooked your quinoa salad.
I
Where's
still
my
think
meat?
that's a jerk move.
Like I
Yeah.
said, it was a satire skit.
Yeah.
I get the other part of all this, honestly, dude, is that if I'm going with a big party and one person is a vegetarian, one of the things that I would measure is how much of an imposition would it be to even everybody else to move the venue. Because it might be worthwhile making sure that if nobody else is going to be inconvenienced, because we're not there yet.
Sure.
If nobody else is going to be inconvenienced and we can accommodate one person and make them feel included, then it might be worth moving.
I mean, I agree.
I don't know. I mean,
there's a my dear. So it's a restaurant, right? It's not that you had to cook something special, which I'm telling you, we eat vegan stuff in my house, we eat vegetarian stuff in my house, we eat meat stuff in my house. You know, we do it all. And I'm more in the Venn diagram, I'm more of a vegetarian than anything now, and what I enjoy. But I have found at most restaurants, I can find something that makes. Now, I'm not a full vegetarian, I'm not a vegan. So if I had to have it, I don't know. I don't pay that much attention, but I know I can always find a good Caesar salad, but I like my shrimp or my grilled chicken on it, whatever. You know, I take care of myself, and there are more options out there. But in all honesty, just put up to the group. If all 12 people went, no, screw you, Ethel. Well, maybe Ethel has a problem. You know, I don't know. But I thought, see, this is finally, Joe, we finally got where we're trying to go, which is an actual taking two sides of things. And actually, what do you decide, Daddy? So, after hearing Kurt and I wax poetically about the high road and how you should elevate your mindset, what do you still say, Joe? What do you think?
I agree with Kurt that she didn't try hard enough. There were things on that menu.
That's what you took away from everything he said.
Yep, that's what I took away from Kurt. Ethel didn't try hard enough. There were things that she could have ordered to be a vegetarian. She just was like, "Ew, I don't want to have a salad."
it would behoove Joe to listen more closely.
I heard what I heard.
Oh my god!
And you gotta wonder which superheroes are vegetarians, and that's the show.
Oh, I had a better one. You gotta call in Joseph Smith to fight for you in this battle. Roll that beautiful
Follow
beat
these
footage.
nerdy dads on social media. Charles at Rock God of Podcasting. Joe at Joseph_Ard. Check out the website, wiseandnerdy.com. And as always, they may not be your father, but they'll always be your daddy.
Big thanks to Grandma Thanks. Grandma coming out and hanging out with us tonight. And check out VO by Kurt. You better eat your meat or you're going home, Joe.
If they don't eat their meat, how can they have their pudding?